Happy April Fool's Day! You'll be excited to know this video is not a joke. I'm not quitting YouTube or shutting down all my accounts. It seems like literally everyone on Twitter is pulling that joke. I remember 5 years ago when I did that. I'm Dr. P as always, and welcome back today for another Fortnite video. I really appreciate you taking the time to stop back by. It truly means a lot to me. Now in this video guys, I want to go over a couple of the map changes I talked about yesterday, dive a little deeper into them because I was streaming earlier today and my chat was actually laying some pretty insane info on me. By the way, you should follow me on caffeine.tv, that's where I stream. I'll have it linked down below. Make sure to hit me with that thumbs up if you enjoy the video, and if you like what you see, consider subscribing and joining the Fruit Faction today for lots and lots of Fortnite content, keeping you completely in the loop of everything going on you need to know about. And of course, shout out to the legends on screen for using my code, and honestly, shout out to the whole Fruit Faction. If you want to see yourself on a video in the future, just send me a screenshot proving you're supporting me. So let's start off by talking about the helicopter. I'm gonna coin him Harry the Helicopter. That's what I've seen in my comments most of the time, so we'll call him Harry. As you can see, he is currently near Lazy Lagoon, which is very interesting. He has almost gotten back to his original starting point, which was near Sunny Steps. You can see the telescope is looking directly at Loot Lake. No question about it. It's looking straight there. And that is confirmed when you look in the telescope and see the reflection. It is Loot Lake. You can very clearly tell, which is interesting. This is like the first time that something has been so obviously in the reflection, and I'm excited to find out what that means. Why are the helicopters here? What is it looking for? Is it looking for treasure? That's the most likely answer, but it could be any number of things. We're getting to the point in the season now where we're around week 5 or 6, and only a few more weeks until we get the Discovery skin and we find out really a lot more about this season. So we're getting to that point now where really anything could start to happen. There could be an event build up, say maybe the volcano starts to smoke and the lava starts to bubbling, and you know something's getting ready to happen. I'd be on the lookout for something like this very, very soon. There's a new Fortnite update going live tomorrow, April 2 at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. No download or downtime will be required. Based on that alone, doesn't look like it's going to be a very big patch, as you might imagine. Every single one of the replies to this tweet are saying revert, revert please, revert in some way, and obviously they're referring to the health and mat change they made in the last update, which a lot of people really don't like, and I'm definitely a part of that. I do not like it, and I'd be glad to see them revert it, and honestly, even if it's not in this upcoming update, I feel like at some point they're just going to have to revert. So many players are unhappy with what's going on. A lot of people say, yeah, well, the health siphoning thing really encourages thirsting, and I get that, but if you watched yesterday's video, you'll know that the respawn vans are almost ready. For all we know, they could also come out in this patch, and if not this patch, one of the upcoming patches. So I think the health siphoning thing, yeah, it might encourage a little bit of thirsting, but overall I think it's nice to be rewarded for getting a kill. It's absolutely amazing for solos, and even if you get thirsted in a duo or squad setting, at least your teammate can bring you back if they try, so I feel like it balances out. One of the few things we know that is confirmed for this update is the boom bow. It's a legendary weapon that's going to be added to the game tomorrow. Have no idea how powerful or strong it's gonna be, but I mean, by the title Boom Bow, it almost feels like there's gonna be some kind of an explosion or impact that is not something you'd see of a typical bow. I'm a little concerned it could be really strong. I don't know, like literally I haven't even seen anything about this except for the fact that it's coming out. So I can't judge it right now, but I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye close on that weapon. So if you watched yesterday's video or you've been keeping up with Fortnite at all, you'll know that there are a bunch of signs appearing across the map indicating a direction and indicating a certain amount of meters. Here's a fourth one that's just come up today, kind of near Tilted. Of course, if you guys find any other signs besides the one I show right now, the one on the volcano, the one on Polar Peak, and the one near the villain's lair, let me know. Those are the only 4 that I know of right now. I'm fully expecting there to be more coming up in the next few days. How many more? I don't know. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. I made a video yesterday in which I thought the signs were indicating a forward building out motion. That could still be the case. But in my stream today, I saw a lot of people suggesting that rather, instead of it being moved forward that amount of meters, it could simply be the measurement of how high that particular point of altitude is. And it makes a lot of sense, actually, because, I mean, we know Polar Peak and we know the volcano are like almost level with each other, right? Well, the sign on Polar Peak says 170 meters, and the sign on the volcano says 172 meters. Very close, only off by 2 meters. And we know they're roughly the same elevation. So after hearing this and realizing it could be plausible, I decided to, on stream, go and check it out for myself. So the method I used was building up to the volcano, making sure I'm level with it, right? Pretty much the exact same elevation as the sign, and now that we have the markers in the game, you can just place them down. It'll measure the distance between where you are and the point on the ground. So I literally just built all the way out the same level of elevation as the top of the volcano, and I was having trouble deciding where I should measure like the ground on. Do I measure it right at the bottom of the volcano? Do I measure it at the lowest point of the lava pit? I didn't really know, and it was a little confusing, but what I found to work was putting the marker right at the lowest possible elevation of lava, which is over here kind of near the dusty area. When I get over here, remember, I'm exactly the same height as the volcano, the top of the volcano, and I place this marker below me, I get roughly 172 meters. Now it's off by 1 or 2 because, I mean, I'm not standing in the right area, I guess, but just for an approximation, this is almost completely on point. Now, like I said, this is just me guessing the height because I'm off by a little bit surely, and then guessing where I should put the marker. But nonetheless, I was able to get roughly 172 meters from the volcano, which is basically what the sign said. Interesting. So the next step was to employ the same tactic with the sign on top of Polar Peak to see if it was also roughly 170 meters. I started to build out here. It's a little tricky because you can't just build in a straight line. You kind of have to zigzag a little bit. Plus, I was guessing again, but I got roughly in the same situation as last time, where I'm the same exact height off the ground as what I'm measuring, and I'm trying to get to a point where the ground is at the lowest level possible beneath me, which I just got kind of over the frozen greasy grove. This time, it was a little more off. It was like 155 meters roughly, so not exactly the same, not exactly as close as the volcano was, but it's only like 15 or 20 off, so I mean, it could be possible that I'm measuring in the wrong spot. That would be completely realistic. So naturally, I decided to try it again on the sign near the villain's base. The first two, especially the volcano, seemed to check out alright. So this sign says 110 meters. This one was pretty easy to do. The volcano was tough because I didn't exactly know where the bottom was, but for both of the last two, they were pretty easy. As you can see, I'm building on exactly the same level as the top of that sign. I build out over the lowest possible ground point I can find, and then I simply measure how far up I am, and again, it gets pretty close. It's around 105 or so meters, not off by much. It's very possible I'm just measuring at the wrong spots. Just because I'm not getting exactly the same number as listed on the sign doesn't mean this isn't relevant stuff. It's really surprisingly and shockingly close, especially the volcano. I got 173 when it said 172. Really interesting stuff. Now, just because it does seem to be measuring height instead of distance, that doesn't mean it's not measuring distance, right? It could be both. I really don't know, and honestly, there's no way we could know until Epic officially tells us or does something to demonstrate otherwise. Now the question is, why are these signs appearing, and why would the height have anything to do with anything? I'm not sure. They appear to be simply marking how high off the ground they are. So why would that matter? I feel like this all has something to do with the helicopter going around the map, and honestly, I'm blanked right now. I have no idea what's really going on. As always, I welcome your feedback, your thoughts, and your opinions. Make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. I do read all the comments, and you guys often spark ideas for me, and I love to give credit where credit's due. So if you leave a good theory or a good idea in the comments, I will be sure to credit you if I use it in a video. And it goes a little something like this. Logan Kershaw said, Dr. P, if you haven't figured it out already, the signs make you build out and form a giant X. Hence the name of the season, X marks the spot. It's definitely an idea that you can think about. I'm not exactly sure what kind of formation it might make. I feel like it could make some kind of, like, dare I say it, cube shape? Speaking of cubes, my boy Sourkins found a white cube, an activation cube per se, underneath Loot Lake, kind of where the future dig site is going to be. So all of this is something to just rack around in your brain. Let me know if you get any ideas, that'd be great. I'll see you in the next one, and until then guys, take it easy, and peace out.